You know, I make records for people, so of course I hope that there's a moment or something for everyone, you know, from a 5-year-old kid listening to a 95-year-old kid listening, you know. I hope that they get something different and distinct from listening to it. But the one thing that I do know is I know who Michael Buble is, and I know what makes me tick, and I know exactly the direction I want to go. I didn't overthink things. I didn't walk in thinking that I need to be a genius or more brilliant, or that I need to go deeper. I just really walked in with the simple hope that I could string together a bunch of songs that I absolutely was in love with, and then write songs that people could fall in love with, and somehow put them together and come up with an album, like I said, that's just full of moments for people. And I think I did that. On this record, you know, I recorded songs that I grew up with, really, that I loved. And I felt like if I stood there and I got up in front of a room of musicians, and I was honest and really in love with what I was doing, I hoped that it would read, you know. I hoped that when people listened to the record that they could hear me smiling. And I made probably some pretty unorthodox choices, but this is what I had to do. When we started this record, the very first concept I had was to make it a soul record. I'd come up with songs like To Love Somebody, To Be Loved, songs like Who's Loving You, and I think now I'm allowed to sing these songs because I've been hurt, because I've been in love, and I've had great things happen to me, and I've had terrible things happen to me, and I've lived life, probably half of my life now, and I feel like when I do sing, I feel like I'm allowed to have a little more intensity because and more security, because I've sort of, you know, I can pull from things that have happened to me emotionally, and there's something there. I like that this record, I haven't made easy decisions, and that's just another point. I just did things that I thought felt really good. You know, at no point did my producer and I talk about the popularity of a certain song. We just continually talked about vibe. It was just about how great it felt. And I didn't overthink it or worry about what the critics would say. I just went with my gut. And I think I made the right decisions. I hope I did. I tread a very fine line, because I always want to remember and to be mindful of 40 million people who bought my records before. But at the same time, it's important for me to grow. It's important for me to try new things. It's important for me to put myself out there. You know, I want to show growth without alienating my audience. You know, I think from my musical mentors, I've learned that it's okay to put yourself out there sometimes. It's okay to fail. It's more important to try and to grow than to stay stagnant and be safe and just hope that that's enough, you know? I look at somebody like Bobby Darin, who I absolutely love, and one of the things that I love about him was his versatility, was the fact that when he started, his first hit was a pop song. It was Splish Splash, I Was Taking a Bath. And then he went into this place where he was the crooner, the neo-crooner. He started to do things like Beyond the Sea and Mac the Knife. But he changed, and he grew with the times. He evolved, you know, and by the end, he was a folk singer that was singing about things that were heavy to him, and he was being emotive and expressive, and he took a chance, you know. But it was something that moved him, and I think that it's part of the reason that I love him so much, and so many people do. I think it takes a lot of guts to do that. Everything I've written comes from inside me and how I feel, and it's always inspired by the way I feel about, you know, different people at different times in my life. Close Your Eyes really was a song that I sat down at the piano and I started to plunk out chords, and I wanted to write a song that was an ode to strong women. And I just wanted to sort of give props to women all over the world for putting up with us and carrying us through a lot of these times when we have a heavy load and we couldn't carry it ourselves. And I think that it came very naturally for me to write it. Every time I write a song, I mean, people pretty much know it's me. I mean, I've got the most brilliant co-writers. On this record, I wrote with Alan Chang, who previously I had written Home and Everything and Lost and Heaven, all the songs. And Amy Foster is a great lyricist. Bryan Adams, I wrote with Jan Arden. If I'm any good of a leader, it's only because I surround myself with people that make me better. And Amy and Alan and Jan and Bryan Adams and Jim Valance, I mean, make me better. I've surrounded myself with people that are just incredible. And so, to get to do this with them is the best. To some people, melody tells its story on its own. When you hear certain chords put down, they make you feel something. And I think when you get that perfect mix where you have a lyric that is held by this melody and supports it, and they fit, that's when people are really moved. One of the songs I love on this record is I've tried to tackle Randy Newman's "You Got a Friend in Me," and basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of turn it into almost the sort of Sinatra-esque love and marriage, something really bouncy and light. And the song meant a lot to me personally because of, it being a sweet little kind of inside joke between me and my wife. And what had happened is we had our anniversary, and on our anniversary, I made her a video, and I recorded that song. And I just took a bunch of photos and things of our life, from when we met, and I think it's a standout on the record. It's really wonderful. And again, there's not overthinking anything. It's just made with a lot of love, and that's about it. I'll be honest too. Listen, a lot's changed since I found out I'm gonna have a baby. I mean, your priorities just change naturally. The one thing that hasn't changed with all these things that are happening in my life is the love of going up there and performing live. I just can't wait. I mean, I really can't. I'm nervous and I'm anxious because I want it to be better than it's ever been. But at the same time, that's my home. And those people that come to those arenas, stadiums, are my family. They really are. They're my extended family. And, it's going to be so much fun. I mean, listen, what I do is so simple. I mean, I love my life and I love what I do. I show up on stage in front of 20,000 people and I throw a party. And I just try to be a gracious host. I've already started to go through moments of this show and the set and patter and how to keep it moving and all of that stuff, and how I'm going to sing these songs and who I'm going to sing them with, and the instruments on them, and all of that stuff. So definitely I've started to think about that. That's the cool part about what I get to do, is secretly I get to do all the things that secretly I've wanted to do. I mean, how lucky am I that I get to be the most schizophrenic artist on earth and do what I love. I mean, and take different genres and try to tackle them and make them my own. I think that's the tough part, is really taking a soul song or taking a standard or even writing a pop song and really bringing it into your world and putting your stamp on it and your distinct personality. I love music, I love movies, I love photos, I love paintings, I love art. I love watching and people and feeling people express themselves. And I'm infatuated by how brave you have to be to put yourself out on a limb like that and allow people to judge you. I love that adrenaline. I love the challenge of trying to put yourself in places that are dangerous, and when it works, there's nothing like it. Really, when it works, there's nothing like it. And I will tell you, I have listened to this record so much, and I don't usually listen to my own music. I really don't. And this record, I've absolutely loved listening to. I've been eating it up. I can tell you all day that it's the greatest record that I've ever made. It's because it's what every artist says every time they make a new record. But the truth is, this is the best record I've ever made. It is. It just simply is.